Unfiltered Trainer podcast. I am your host, Gina, aka Gina Marie Fit, and I'm coming to you late on a Tuesday because your girl was down for the count. I have been having really bad GI bouts and I have been sicker than sick. And it took me 3 days this time to get back on my feet. I actually ended up missing Easter with my family, which I was so disappointed. Easter is actually one of my favorite holidays. So last week, my family drove over. They were visiting my grandma and they all came over to visit me in Tampa. They got to see my apartment and it was so nice for them to see my environment, where I live. I got to take them around. It rained the whole freaking trip. So I ended up just driving them around, showing them my life. And then I was supposed to drive a few hours to go visit them while they were at my sister's. And I ended up Saturday at work. I felt funny. And this is me not describing what funny means because I still am learning to be comfortable with having a condition like I have. And so I knew something was wrong on Saturday at work. And as the day progressed, I was like, oh God, like something is wrong. And Saturday I went to bed literally before 8 o'clock because I just wanted to tell myself, all right, rest. You have a 3-hour drive tomorrow. Like we got to shake this off. And after laying down, I woke up to viciously vomiting. And it was like clockwork. Every 20 to 30 minutes, I was in that bathroom and I stayed there for the night. And so when Sunday came around, I did not want to risk being around my family because in my head, it felt like a GI issue. But I was like, oh my God, my coworkers have been sick. Like, I don't want to be around my 90-year-old grandmother if I have something. And so I ended up staying home, and thank God I did because I had been sick and vomiting until yesterday. And I know it's a GI thing because there are certain parts of having progressive IBS-C that happen that is very easy to determine when it's about. And so this is my second one in the last couple months, which is scary for me because that means that it's time to have a conversation with my doctor. And when you're in my category of being progressive, there are very limited medications you can take. There is only one more chance for me with medications that are currently on the market. And so I used to have to take a bunch of like digestive enzymes, pre and probiotics, all these things. And I got to stop taking them when I gained access to the medicine I'm currently on because it kind of alleviated all those issues. And I have all of those issues back. And so until I get in to see my specialist, I actually ordered all of that stuff and I'm just going to start taking everything that was beneficial for me and just really hope that I don't have to go through another procedure and testing and all of the fun stuff that comes along with when I have an exacerbation. So it's why I'm coming to you very late on a Tuesday and filming this at literally 8 o'clock at night. I want to be consistent. I want to put out valuable content. And I did not want to miss this, but I also was like, could not sit up or stand. Every time I did, I was just dizzy. And it was just not pleasant. And so we're turning the corner. We officially hit episode 20 last week, which is a milestone for a lot of podcasters. I also found out that we've hit 750 downloads, which is really incredible. So thank you to everybody that continues to invest in this podcast by listening every single week and giving me feedback. I really love hearing from you as the listener. So please don't hesitate if you want to hear a certain episode. If you want to talk about a certain topic, like let's get into it and share those details with me. Today, we're going to talk about, is rest really best? And I feel like this is a hot button issue when people are striving to achieve their goals, whether it's in fitness or in life. Sometimes going from 0 to 60 and staying at an accelerated pace isn't actually the answer into achieving the goals you seek to achieve. And so today we're going to talk about why I get so preachy about rest and recovery with my clients, because too often, whether it's with a personal training client or some of our group fitness clients that we incur, there is this weird notion that you need to work out 6-7 days a week, that every single workout should be exhausting to your max potential, and that if you're doing anything less, you're doing a disservice. In reality, doing more is actually not the answer. And most of the time, you can fix the issues that clients are facing with their programming by simply incorporating proper rest. And so we're going to talk about why it's beneficial, but also why it's detrimental not to rest. And so if you're one of those people that is a 6 to 7 dayer or somebody that's doing doubles and you're about to turn this podcast off, you need to pause and click play, because this is the podcast that you need to hear. And y'all know this is the Unfiltered Trainer. So we're going to come to you real concise, to the point, and provide you with valuable information. And we ain't going to sugarcoat it. We're going to give you what you need to hear so that you can elevate your quality of life. So let's get into it. I have personally come a long way, because I too used to do 2-a-days. I used to work out 6-7 days a week. I used to add in bonus cardio sessions when I ate poorly. It truly is punishment what you're doing, and it is very detrimental to your health. And when you start to wonder why you're not losing weight or why you're not getting stronger, it's because you're not incorporating rest and recovery. And it actually is the most beneficial thing you could be doing, because when you work out and break down those muscle fibers, if you're overtraining, you're not giving those muscles sufficient time to recover. And so as you break them down, they aren't able to heal. And so that is actually what increases your risk for injury, is overuse and repetitive movement patterns, because you're not letting your body properly heal before you go and do another workout. So let's talk about what happens when you don't take a rest day. If you're somebody that has a hard time taking a rest day, you obviously are probably going to think or feel differently. But I hope at the end of this podcast that you've actually changed the way you see rest and recovery. Skipping recovery is obviously doing more harm than good than you realize. And I try to politely inform all of my clients how important recovery is, because it's usually a variable in a training regimen. And a lot of people don't realize, but you can in fact develop overtraining syndrome that has both physiological and psychological issues that result from developing that. And so one of the ways that if you're starting to question, like, maybe I am overtraining, if you notice that you become irritable, moody, you're particularly crabby, overtraining can lead to self-critical thinking, and it can lead to you feeling like, I am doing the absolute most, but I'm getting worse. I'm not making progress. And as a result, when you overtrain, your energy goes down, your body suffers, you can feel emotional, you can feel like you're going in a downward spiral. And the reality is, when your body is in a constant state of high cortisol levels, physical pain and soreness, you are going to be irritable, and that threshold for your normal mental status, your ability to handle your stress, actually starts to decrease over time because you are overtraining. The second thing that I feel like I see most common is people get hurt. I see a lot of people, because of overuse of the muscles, tendons, joints, ligaments, actually end up in an inflammatory position where their joints inflame. And as a result, their risk for injury actually goes up, because their body is so fatigued that it cannot sustain the movement pattern. And because those muscles, those fibers aren't actually healing to their full potential, you lose muscle mass. You're not gaining muscle mass. And as a result, people get injured, and then they try to push through injuries, which only makes things worse in the long run. The third thing I notice with a lot of clients is that their immune system suffers and it becomes compromised. If you are somebody that overtrains and you're doing too much, or you're doing too much in life, you will notice that you will get sick, and your immune system will have a hard time shaking even the simplest cold. And that's the result of increased cortisol levels, as we've spoken about before, because your adrenaline system and your suppression of your immune system, those two factors, actually research has shown that more than 90 minutes of high intensity exercise can make you more susceptible to illness for up to 72 hours after. And so if you're one of these people doing 2-a-day workouts and wondering why you're run down, you're fatigued, you're irritable, you're emotional, well, not only is your immune system compromised, but so is your adrenaline and your cortisol levels. They are out of whack. And when your hormones are out of whack, so does your physical body. Those things that we don't think about, and so often people don't talk about with their doctors enough, are their hormone levels. And cortisol, yes, when you exercise, is a good stress, but it is still stress on the body. And as a result, you will get sick quicker because of overtraining and what you're doing to your body and preventing its ability to rebound. Another thing I see a lot with clients who overtrain is that their sleep quality diminishes. And so you may be exhausted and ready to fall asleep, but because your body is overstressed and you're increasing those hormones that are responsible for repairing those muscles that are actually something that is produced in the deep REM cycle of sleep, you're not getting good quality sleep. So then your muscles aren't getting the proper time to fully repair. As a result, your sleep suffers. What happens when our sleep suffers? If you're anything like me, I am a royal pain in the butt. When I don't sleep, you don't want to be around me. I am not pleasant. Like, that is one thing. Your girl needs 7 to 8 hours, more like 8 to 9, now that I'm getting older. If I get anything less than sick, I feel sorry for everybody that has to be around me. Another one is that your endocrine system actually fatigues. So when you're constantly doing high intensity exercises, you go into what's called adrenal fatigue and your body overproduces cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone, and it is actually the opposite of what you want to happen. So exercise is that positive increase in cortisol. Exercise helps decrease your stress. And so when you overdo it, those cortisol levels raise too high. High intensity exercise with no rest produces too much of cortisol. Otherwise, that is what they call the fat storing hormone. So if you're somebody that is overtraining, not sleeping, you're irritable, it's a no-brainer, y'all, why your systems are failing you. And as a result, you're not losing weight because you're actually storing it because of the inverse relationship that has happened to your hormones as a result of overtraining, specifically when you're doing these HIIT style intense workouts and doing more than you should be doing in a day. Lastly, what I see and I notice the most in my clients is that when they overtrain, it's because their performance is also suffering. And what happens is when you're going too hard in a workout too long and you do it every single day, no human being can properly do that. And so what can elicit from that is because you get bored with your routine. Maybe you've been doing the workout you've been doing for too long. It's no longer challenging. It's no longer fun. And it's one of those things that's become monotonous. If it's monotonous and you feel like you have to do a double to get a good workout, that is a key indicator that you are not doing the right program for you. You should not have to do 2 workouts a day to get in one good workout. That is a red flag that you are not doing what you should be doing, or maybe you've been doing what you've been doing for too long and your body is plateauing. And when your body plateaus, you think, okay, let's flip it and work harder, when in reality, it's time to do something different. As a result, rather than taking a rest day and coming back the next day, your performance ends up suffering when you're overtraining. And so when you continue to do too much and then you continue to push yourself in this manner, your actual performance in your workouts will suffer. You will notice you can't lift as heavy. You won't be able to control the tempos. Your endurance and your cardio workouts will suffer. These are all signals and signs in your body that it is screaming for you to rest. And it's time for you to learn how to recover. So what's simple and the easy way to define what you need to do is simply just take a freaking rest break. Like literally, y'all, this is not rocket science. Just take a rest break. And because I know there's a lot of us that are hard-headed here, we're first going to talk about the benefits of taking those rest days first so that you can understand there are actually significant advantages incorporating regular routine rest days in your training splits. The best one is the fact that it allows time for proper recovery. Contrary to popular belief, we all know rest days aren't days that are you're lazy, you're on the couch. It's time for your body to truly specifically rest. That is essential for muscle growth. So if you're one of these people that's trying to grow, to get stronger, and you're not incorporating rest days, this is essential for those muscles to grow. So when you work out, you create what we call microscopic tears in your muscle tissue. And that is what we have during rest. Your cells, it's called fibroblasts. That's what repairs it. So as you're resting, you have these little fibroblasts that actually help to repair the tears in the muscle. That's what enables the tissue for it to heal and grow. And that's what results in stronger muscles. Your muscles store your carbohydrates in the form of glycogen. And so during exercise, your body breaks down the glycogen to fuel your workouts. Rest gives your body time to replenish those energy stores before your next workout. And so it's very beneficial for you to rest so that your muscles have proper time to repair, so your glycogen stores are your storage for your glycogen can restore, and that you replenish your body naturally so that you have enough energy and strength before you go into that next workout. The second one, as we talked about, rest can reduce your risk for injury because it's essential for staying safe. And so when you overwork, you compromise your form. You might have to notice that you'll be dropping weights. You might even take a wrong step because you're so fatigued. All overtraining does is expose your muscles to repetitive stress and strain that is unnecessary, and it just increases your risk for injury, which then will force you to take more rest days than you had planned. Had you not just incorporated a rest day in your training split, you may pay the price in the long run by having to take more time off than you would like because you then acquired an injury. Another beneficial point to taking a rest day is that it actually prevents your muscles from fatiguing. And so rest is necessary because you want to avoid exercise-induced fatigue. Because exercise does deplete your muscles' glycogen levels, if those storages aren't replaced, you will feel what's called muscle fatigue and soreness. And you may think like, oh no, that's a good thing. And to a certain point, yes, it is. But your muscles, when they experience the delayed onset muscle syndrome, muscle fatigue, you've heard, there's a couple ways you hear a lot of people say that. That is what is natural. So for most people, it's the second or third day after a workout before they really feel how their body is strained. And so if you continually are repeating the same muscle patterns and groups too quickly, you don't actually know what your body, the soreness level is. You don't really know how you're feeling. And if these stores aren't replaced, then that's what leads to extreme muscle fatigue and prolonged soreness. Being so sore that like every time you take a step, everything hurts is not a good thing. And no pain, no gain, realistically, is not what the majority of the population should be following. And so when you get adequate rest, you'll prevent those muscles from fatiguing. Your glycogen, like we talked about, will be restored. And then those muscles will have proper time to recover so that when you go to hit that same muscle group again, you'll actually be able to progress your workout instead of potentially plateauing or regressing just to get through that next workout. Another one is it's not rocket science, guys. Like resting will improve your performance in your actual workouts. And so if you start incorporating this into your normal routine, I promise you, some of my personal clients are experiencing this right now. We have incorporated set specific rest days, not active recovery days, for you little people that want to manipulate this and go do Pilates or yoga, actual rest days, and their lifts have gotten significantly better because overtraining obviously decreases your performance. And then when you experience reduced endurance, you have slower reaction times. And as a result, your agility actually gets compromised too. And so rest has the opposite effect. It is actually what increases your energy levels. It's what helps to prevent the muscle fatigue, and it prepares your body to have consistent, successful workouts that actually align with your goals and enable you to work out to the best of your ability. So you're truly doing yourself a disservice by not incorporating those rest days. So what should you do on your rest days? So let's talk about what to do on rest days and how we can prevent these issues from happening. So on your true rest days, not your active recovery days, your rest days, the only thing I do, and it's only if the weather is permitting, my fellow Floridians, or weather has been trash. So if the weather is nice enough, I just take a walk. Not because I feel like I have to, but walking is so meditative for me. I love putting on a podcast and just taking a stroll around downtown Tampa. I live not far from the Riverwalk, and so I love making like a 3 to 5 mile loop, and it's a slow pace. I'm not walking briskly. I'm just enjoying the weather, getting my vitamin D, which helps our mental health, and just enjoying where I live. Another thing I like to do is read. I know you're probably like inserting your eye rolls, but if you're a fellow Floridian, take the book to the beach. But I like just letting my body truly rest. Another thing that I honestly love doing like once a month is getting a massage. Massaging sore muscles is really beneficial because it aids in your recovery. And so you might need a little extra TLC, and it helps to relieve your tension. It'll reduce your pain. It decreases your swelling and improves your blood circulation. And it actually promotes healing to the soft tissue damage that you've experienced from your workouts. And it actually will improve your flexibility and mobility faster, so you don't have that delayed onset muscle stiffness and soreness you get. That actually will help with that. And so sometimes on my set recovery days, those are the days I schedule my massages for, because it's actually beneficial for your recovery. I also like to make sure on my recovery days that I'm not negating all of the other things I know. So I try to make sure I get my water intake in. I'm still eating consistently throughout the day. I'm making sure to fuel my body. The fuel isn't just for your workouts, it's for your overall health and your functioning. And so those are things I enjoy. I also like just spending time with people. And so on the days that I have extra time, I personally like FaceTiming a family or friend. I like picking up the phone and calling somebody if I haven't talked to them. I just like taking that extra time to do the things I enjoy. Something I do is I paint. And so on some rest days, I will get out a canvas and I'll do a painting, and I don't feel pressed for time, because usually your workouts, that's an hour and a half of your day. Whether you're driving to the gym and doing an hour workout, or if you're lifting on my longer lifts, it's an hour and a half. And so that's a significant amount of time you can gain back 1 to 2 days a week, depending on your workout split. And so for me, I enjoy painting. The other day, I love this. So I literally just went to the store. I never go to a store without a list and an agenda. And so the other day, I literally took myself to Marshall's, at a couple things I was looking for, and I just went and like perused the aisles and just enjoyed not having to be on a time clock, not having to time my pre-workout, not having time figuring out what time I was getting to the gym, not stressing. I just walked around Marshall's, got a couple gifts for some people, and enjoyed myself. It can simply be just that. Your rest day can be exactly what it is. Take a nap, go for a walk, spend time with yourself, work on yourself, do some personal development, even go set up your therapy appointment on your rest day, because therapy can be exhausting. Let me tell you, some of the sessions can be a little emotional and very fatiguing in itself. Rest days are simply that. You don't have to feel compelled to go anywhere or do anything. You don't have to feel like you should do active recovery workouts. You simply could lay on the couch, eat your meals, get your water intake in, and enjoy a sedentary day. You'll realize when you start consistently incorporating recovery and rest days into your routine and address mobility, how incredible your lift sessions will be, how much better you will feel physically, mentally, and emotionally, and you will see a significant decrease in strain in all of those areas by simply having more balance in your training protocols. If this is something you struggle with too, feel free to DM me. Something that I have been silently working on is that I actually joined the Project Breakthrough team. And so I am taking on online coaches with them, and I can bring on my own clients as well. So I've started onboarding a bunch of clients in the last couple weeks. And so if you're somebody that is looking for more one-on-one training, you don't have to be in Tampa. You can be anywhere. We can create splits and set up and establish your goals based off of what you want in a realistic manner in order for you to achieve those things. That is an option now as well. So you can have somebody that is properly informed and will teach you what is best for you and help you to help yourself, because your training shouldn't feel like a stressor. It should aid in elevating the quality of life. And so if you feel overstressed, you're overtraining, you're not getting to where you want to be at, could be as simple as a rest day, or maybe it's time to try something different, especially if you've been doing the same workout for quite a long time and now you're doing 2 workouts, or you're doing 7 days a week in that workout program. It's not rocket science, guys. Your body sometimes needs to change it up. And sometimes that means less. Sometimes that means a different format. And sometimes that just simply means incorporating a rest day. If you haven't yet, make sure you're following the Unfiltered Trainer on Instagram and Gina Marie Fit. And if you have any requests for any upcoming episodes, DM me over at the Unfiltered Trainer, and I will totally create an upcoming episode based off of one of your requests. All right, y'all, stay tuned and we will chat soon.